Today we're going to discuss what size and shape of tank is optimal for your Betta. So whether you're a beginner or a pro, I'm sure that you've seen all over the internet, there are all kinds of sizes and shapes and brands of tanks, and it can get overwhelming. I mean, seriously, insane. When I was looking for a tank, I had such a hard time deciding, do you go with the really pretty tall one? Do you go with the very strangely oblong shape? Do you get a custom one built? Yeah, they offered custom ones as well. It was insane the amount of tanks that were available. And honestly, I'm sure that even now, a few years later, even more are available. So how do you know which one to choose? How do you know which size to choose? Well, let me tell you. All right, so let's start off with size, because that's pretty straightforward. For a lot of people, this is a debatable topic. A lot of people believe that the bigger the better, and a lot of people believe that you should keep it smaller. But as a general rule, a 5-gallon minimum is a good start. Now, there are a few instances where you can get away with a 3.5 gallon. Really, there are only 3 main times that you would want to have a tank smaller than a 5-gallon. And I wouldn't go any smaller than a 3.5. Number one, you have a Betta who's blind. Sometimes Bettas can become blind after being sick, but a lot of times it's because they have what's called diamond eye, where the scales grow over their eyes. It doesn't hurt them as far as we know. It's just built into their genetics after crossbreeding for a certain period of time. It just happens sometimes. But this can render a Betta fish blind. So blind Bettas tend to bump into things a lot, and sometimes they can get stressed if they have a lot of space because they don't really know where they are. So in this instance, I believe that a smaller tank would be fine, and you would want to reduce the amount of decors in there, make sure there are soft plants to accommodate your blind Betta. Secondly, your Betta is elderly. When Betta fish age, a lot of times they will slow down and they really don't swim around a lot, and they're content to just rest on their favorite heights. So a smaller tank at that point, if they don't mind the transition, can work just fine. But if you have a larger tank and your Betta fish is in there already, then odds are he's used to it, and switching into a smaller tank really wouldn't be beneficial. Thirdly, you could get away with a smaller tank for a time if your Betta is sick and needs to be transferred to a smaller hospital tank. This just makes it easier to treat them because you don't have to treat as large of a volume of water, the medication can go farther, but as soon as they are better, you would want to switch them back to their main tank. So those are the 3 reasons you would want to have a smaller tank size. You can decide if you want to start with a 5-gallon or if you want to go upwards of 8 or 10 or 20 gallons. As a beginner, I always recommend starting with the 5. It's just easier to get going, and it can be easier to find spots for that tank to rest. 5-gallon tanks are easy to place on bedside tables, they're easy to place on desks, they're even easy to place on kitchen counters, so they're very versatile. Now that we've gone over the optimal size for a Betta tank, let's go over the optimal shape. There are many shapes available online. There are rectangular shapes. There are rectangular tanks that are vertical, so they just go taller. There are circular tanks. There are all kinds of different shapes. But when it comes to the size that's right for your Betta, which one do you choose? Typically, a rectangular tank, a tank that's longer than it is tall, is optimal for your Betta because a Betta fish's natural swimming pattern is back and forth. You can watch them all day, you can watch them in the store, they're always swimming back and forth. Now, am I against tall tanks? No, I have a tall tank, as you can see. So tall tanks aren't necessarily bad, but if you want one that accommodates your Betta's natural swimming pattern, then a longer tank is probably the best choice. Another benefit with longer tanks that you can keep in mind is the fact that you can keep the water level lower, so your Betta doesn't have to swim up as much when he needs to get some oxygen from the surface. Younger Bettas or placket Bettas that can swim and that are very active, they would do fine in a taller tank that's a larger volume, like a 10-gallon, which I have behind me. But in general, longer tanks are better, and they're also easier to find. There are more longer tanks than there are tall tanks available on the internet, and a lot of times they're actually cheaper, so that works to your advantage if you're on a budget. Alright friend, I hope this helped you. If you have any input or any comments on this topic, then please let me know. If you have a favorite tank of yours, feel free to link it for the others in the comments. Anything that has helped you or that would help others, I would love it if you would share it. As always, if there is a specific topic or video that you would love for me to cover or make, please let me know. You can let me know in the comments or you can email me. You can find my email in the About section of this channel. Alright, that is it. If you would like to watch some more informative content, go check out this channel. There are so many videos available. I release one a week and I've been doing this for almost a year now, so you can imagine how many videos are available. I would love it if you would stick around, so if this is your first time here, consider clicking that subscribe button and go check out some more videos. Alright friends, thank you for tuning in and I hope to see you soon.